last thing that I want to show you is just some options for kind of doing things creatively or differently or a little bit more flexible in your live set. So these are just things that I do that you could include. So I'm just kind of showing one of my live sets. This is just, it's like half or even like less than half of a set that I created. Just cut it down to these 3 songs for this example. So the first thing I'm going to show you is just this top scene. So the pink right here is Crazy, which was the song we were working with in the other set. So what I've done is created a scene before the start of the song. So the second scene is actually the real start of the song. The first scene, I just kind of created a loop from various sections of the song that I thought sounded cool. And what I do normally is just do some vocal improving or like keyboard improving over it before I start the song. So this is what it sounds like. So you can see I've taken the bass. You can see here bars 9 through 17. Right, that's this little loop here. Kick snare, I also did sort of the same section, just cut it off a little bit sooner, so 9 to 13. And then this addition, I have a whole, in this set example, I have a whole new track for transitions, just any extra little clip I might want to throw in that's not kind of one of these things, right, the bass or anyway. So for this one, it's bars 33 through 37, and it's this little vocal chop. So basically, I just let that clip run as long as I want, do some cool vocal stuff over it, and then when I'm ready, I launch, and I can do that for any amount of time because it's just going to loop forever. When I'm ready, I just go launch the next clip. So that's a nice way to keep the set kind of more open and flexible. If you're with a bigger band, you can do some kind of like improvisation section or something like that before starting the track. You could do that in the middle of the track too, kind of by doing the same technique, just looping one section. So anyway, okay, let me show you just quickly then also how to do that. So normally, I'll move this up. So normally when you bring your stems in, they look, something like this. Okay, so this would just play the whole thing through. So I'm going to highlight bar 9 through 17, and I'm going to hit Command L. Command L is the short or hotkey for looping. You could also just drag the looping section to be around that. Okay, and then I'm highlighting that, and then I'm just going to hit this loop button right here. And then you'll want to have the start marker there too. So now it will loop that section. Next, I'm going to show you how in this song, the second 2 songs, I do kind of a fluid transition from one song to the next instead of just ending the song and then starting the next one. So that's kind of a nice thing to do so that you're not stopping after every song and starting the new one in just kind of the same way. Just throw some variety in there. Okay, so this track here is called Make It Happen. It's kind of like a little disco dance song. Okay, so for this one, I keep it really simple. I just sing to this track, and my drummer usually plays with me. Okay, so instead of just ending the track, what I have going on here is this section. You can see right here that I've looped a section at the end. So the track's gonna play, it'll play. And then once it gets to here, it's not gonna go through all the way to the end. It'll just keep looping this section over and over again. Okay, the bass I just have the bass. You can see here, nothing's looping there. It's just playing out. Same thing with the other tracks. I just kind of let them end naturally. But this little section, I keep going. So let me show you how that sounds. And then instead of continuing, it's going to repeat. Okay? And it'll just do that until I command it not to. So to have this just loop an ending section, you can do kind of the same trick that we did for the loops on Crazy, right? I'm highlighting, hitting Command L, and it's looping. The difference is that your start marker, right, which maybe went to here when you hit Command L, you want to actually drag it all the way back to the beginning, right, to make sure that when you hit this scene launch, it's starting to play the whole track, right? You just want to loop that ending section. Okay, so this is how I, in this specific situation, managed this transition. So let's say we got to the end of the song. This is looping. Okay, my next track is in a completely different key. So what I did was I copied this clip to the next scene and just have the loop here, but I transposed it, you can see, down a minor third. Okay, so whenever I feel like, I can cue the next track. Okay, already that just taking it down a minor third sounded pretty cool. Okay, now when I am going to bring in the next track, it will sound good, right, with each other. So I'm just going to bring in the bass. So you can see how the keys complement each other now. Okay, then I'm going to bring in the drums. Okay, then when I launch this clip, I want this little loop to keep playing. So I could have put it over here instead of putting it in the same track as the next music clip that I need. But I just copied over here, right? There's a million ways to do the same thing in Ableton. So that's just the way I did it. So now, when I want to launch the next track, and when I want to get the music playing, I'm just going to launch the whole next scene. Okay, then, because this is on a different track, I can now kind of like fade it out with the volume, right? I'm just doing it here. I could put separate, I could have put a filter on it, filtered it out. Okay, and then this is actually the start of the song. All right, so, you know, just for this demo, I'm just clicking, right? I had this going, just clicking on the bass. You know, for your show, you can either, if you're using the Ableton Push, then it's really easy to just cue these things. You could map them to a MIDI controller so you can press buttons instead of being at your computer. So it just makes it a really fun way to kind of bring in some other fun performance elements. So anyway, that's just a little example of stuff you can play around with when you're creating your live show setup. And I hope this was helpful and interesting. So please feel free to comment on the video if you have any questions. Visit my website if you're interested in lessons or want to contact me directly or more directly for questions about Ableton or my music and stuff. So thanks for watching and good luck on your creating.